You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. My name is Matt McSweeney. We are joining you on America's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Independence Day. It is the 4th of July here in the United States. It's the 4th of July pretty much everywhere, but it is a special day here, especially in St. Petersburg, where Ty Capone resides. Ty, how are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Hitting the Phillies Rays game in a little bit. I don't know if they're giving anything out, but hopefully we get like a flag or some stupid shit. I don't know. I like free giveaways. We have
Kid
a few
Rock
cards coming
koozie.
up. That would be something. That would be something. Maybe a DeSantis koozie. No, he's not really liked down here, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got, what is it, July now? This is the prime time month to be in, I guess, for MMA fans, right?
Yeah.
Also boxing fans as well. So I think it's time to get excited about some fights. I know as a customary, we're going to lose some fights. Jack Della Maddalena and Bo Nickel are now fighting, some
total no names
from off the street. Yeah, and it sucks, but I guess there was nothing else you could do. Caio Bahaio wanted to fight Bo Nickel, but you know they weren't going to do that.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, Bo Nickel, I feel like there's not going to be lines on this fight. Like, he was minus 1,500 against Trayshawn Gore, who at least, has a UFC win. Like, this guy that he's fighting was supposed to be on the Contender Series. Like, that's a huge step down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's literally going to be the biggest favorite in UFC history. He has to be. Like, minus 3,000, 4, 5.
Val Woodland, that is, getting in there.
Yeah.
Against, Sean Brady is dropped out, like you said, and Jack Della Maddalena is fighting a guy I've also never heard of. I have no idea who that guy is. So we will get to all that. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we must talk about UFC Vegas 76 from the Apex. We had Sean Strickland and Abus Magomedov making his second UFC fight appearance and instantly in a main event. We were right on this, Ty. You had the money line, minus 150. First, before we get into everything, let's just talk about our lines from last week, or our records, that should be. I went 3-6.
What kind of lines you talking about?
Yeah, well, that's not... Happy 4th, everyone. I went 3-6, plus 1.05 units, so kind of a midday for me. You went 4-3, plus 4 units. 4.15 units for you, sir. So
we're climbing back, dude. What's that? 3-4 weeks in a row where we've went like positive-ish.
Yeah, where we're not negative 6 units like we were doing earlier in March and April.
I mean, we were just taking hits left and right. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like we're not overthinking it. We're not underthinking it. You know what I mean? We're not watching 35 hours of film just to be like, oh, I didn't know this guy had cancer coming in the fight. Like, I think we're just kind of making it simple and making the right reads. You went 3-6, and that might look terrible, but like you said, you went positive. And some of the it's really, I mean, did any of us see Damir Ismagulov aging 30 years overnight? I didn't. So there's just some things that
some stuff you just get cooked on, and when you look back,
what are you gonna do?
You go through and you're like, that was a bad bet. So I'll let you know when a couple of my bad bets happen, and even when you lose sometimes, like. Just for example, not to jump the gun, but Michael Morales TKO, I still think that was I was on the right side there. He just didn't get him out of there, man. He had him hurt. We'll talk about all that, but let's just get to Sean Strickland first. Abus had about 3 minutes, 3:30 in him before the gas tank radically faded, and there must have been a hole in it or something. Something was going on there, but.
Leaking.
Sean Strickland just gave him kind of like the vet experience in this one. Although their age may be very similar, Sean Strickland much more of a vet in the UFC game, and he kind of taught him a lesson this weekend. And if this fight was going to be contested on the feet, it was always going to be Sean Strickland. I don't care how many front kicks or whatever Abus wants to throw at you. It really was no match for Sean Strickland. He pieced him up on the feet. His defense was good, and it was just, there was no volume, like Abus really just kind of should not have been in this fight. That's basically what I realized very instantly as the fight went on.
Yeah, I mean, they were just trying to rush him. I think, honestly, they were hoping he would win and they could set up him fighting in – are they going to Germany? Or no, I think they're going to Abu Dhabi again, right, in October. I think they kind of wanted to set that up and maybe have another a young – maybe not young, but breakthrough contender to put on that card. I feel like that was might have been their thinking there. Because, I mean, why else would you go from Dustin Stoltzfus, 19-second knockout to a main event against Sean Strickland? Like, that's just a huge, huge jump, and we've seen it before. That it's hard making that jump, man. I mean,
kind of screwed him if you really think about it.
Yeah, like, I don't think they really wanted Sean Strickland to, they didn't want to have that tough matchmate for his next fight, but here you are. Now you have one, and I don't know what he's going to do next or what he's going to get next, but I think he should probably be. Who hasn't he fought yet is my issue. Like, I feel like he's fought so many good fighters. I mean, his last couple of fights, it's just been, he beat Imavov and he beat Magomedov, 2 rising contenders. He beat Hermanson. Fight was whatever. Lost to Cannonier and Pereira. Would you like to see him running back with Cannonier? I mean, maybe as a co-main or something. Like, I don't know if I want to see Sean Strickland in another 5-round main event against another fringe top 5 or whatever contender at middleweight.
And I doubt they'll do that.
Right, if it's just that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe somewhere on a big card, on like a Izzy card or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you give him Vettori, but like, you don't want to. Vettori should take time off and all that. Maybe you line up Sean Strickland with Robert Whittaker and the Drickus winner. Because if Sean Strickland were to beat Robert Whittaker, I'd feel like, you got to give him a title shot. Which sounds crazy, but who else is ahead of him? I guess Sean Strickland's 7 right now, but with that win, he's probably going to move into the top 5. Maybe you give him Mr. Paulo Tracy Cortez Costa.
Crazy.
How about that?
Crazy turn of events.
How about that? He's posted a picture with his hand on her butt. I mean, I'm just like, it makes sense. Beautiful, beautiful people, but I just don't know what's next for Mr. Strickland. I think a Whittaker Drickus fight would be ideal, and for me. But maybe Brendan Allen. Maybe you give him another rising contender and see. That would be a much, much, much harder fight for Sean Strickland. I think Brendan Allen has some serious power wrestling and serious grappling control. We saw Abus get Sean Strickland's back for a split second. Obviously, wasn't enough to do anything, but I think that'd be a really tough test. Maybe Brendan Allen. Maybe they want to slow play him a little bit, but he's on a heater, man, and he's 27. He's getting better, so I think that could be a potential. A really good fight. You give him the Sean Strickland, and if Sean beats him, then I think he's ready for, the next shot at the title.
Yeah, this kind of is a main event where you leave with, like, you don't really know what's next for the people involved. Abus is just going to kind of fight some guy next, and we'll see what that ends up looking like. And Sean Strickland is kind of in a no man's land of that 85 division where he's fought a lot of these guys, but he's just kind of, I guess, looking for a name that he hasn't fought yet. But a lot of these guys are already tied up with other people, so it's he's in a tough spot. But it was a good win for him. He needed that win to kind of solidify himself as above a guy like Abus. It's kind of like a gatekeeper sort of fight where he just kind of showed him that, like the last 2 fights, Imavov and Magomedov, like, it's just kind of like, you guys aren't on this level yet, and I am. So that was my best bet of the night, plus 270 on the TKO. That just, I thank you for that, because that was I might have been convinced into betting Abus just because I hate Strickland, but I kind of like Strickland now after he made me some money, but
hey, that'll change a lot of people's opinions.
Hell yeah. We still not a good guy, but we will keep it moving. Definitely not a good guy. But how about KGD, man? We were off on this one. I kind of wanted to bet Dawson, but I didn't trust him, and I trusted Ismagulov a little bit more. But like you said, who could have seen Damir Ismagulov aging like a banana in the sun overnight, apparently, and he looked horrific on Saturday night. I getting taken down, and then getting backpacked. I saw somebody tweet this, and I do kind of agree. Like, the fighting style that Grant Dawson implements is fucking horrible. Like, for the eye, for like entertainment, it is so boring, man. He just lays on your back or like sits on your back, and he doesn't he's trying to go for the rear naked chokes, but like, he's not really punching you. He's not really it's just kind of boring. And how much control time did he have? Probably what?
12 and a half minutes.
There you go. So that just lends yourself to, like, and you didn't really, like, he didn't get any 10-8s, right? Like, it was probably...
He got 1 10-8 in the first round, which I was kind of surprised by.
I don't agree with that. I thought the fight was just 10-9s throughout the board. I mean, he dominated,
good
but
old
like...
good old Mike Bell with the 10-8 in the first round. Not sure how
he gives
or why.
Them out
I mean, he didn't...
nothing, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to give him a 10-8 in the first round, you might as well give him one in the second and third because they were all the same. They were the same rounds, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, Damir Ismagulov looks like he's just kind of what happened to Rashid Magomedov back in the day. That dude was like 22-0. He was a beast, and then all of a sudden he just sucked and he fell off and he just hit a wall and that was it. So very unfortunate. Dude, so the beginning of the second or third round, I don't know for some reason why I thought Dawson submitted him. I swear I saw that on my phone while I was out on Saturday night. Brutal Saturday night. I missed most of the fights, had to rewatch it. I had to deal with a bunch of people crying, so that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to babysit everybody. I was probably just wasted, and I thought I saw that Dawson tapped him out. I was gonna be like, damn, okay, that's really impressive. And then I watched the fight. I was like, still impressive, but when they had their moments on the beginning, on the feet in the beginning of the second or third, Dawson was getting hit, man. Like his striking is really ugly. It's not effective whatsoever. He like lunges, but he doesn't even throw power, and he's just off balance and off center, and he just looks like he can get countered. He looks like he can get leg kicked to death. So I'm kind of worried about. I think he's definitely on the fade list going forward. I thought this was a really good spot. All the money came in on Ismagulov. Also, I thought that was something to watch. But yeah, I mean, Damir just he couldn't get it done. Very sad performance by him. Hopefully, he wasn't injured or anything. But yeah, I mean, dude, I saw somebody say this before. They're like, man, the bottom half of the lightweight rankings are not really good. And I looked at them like, yeah, man, maybe one of the best divisions, maybe one of the most historic divisions, but look at the bottom half of the rankings. I mean, RDA's 9th. Grant Dawson's 10th now. Like,
yeah,
Jalen Turner and Dan Hooker, I think they're fighting each other at 290 or 291, right? Is that happening? Is that this weekend?
So I'm not sure.
They're 11 and 12. Moicano's 13. Ismagulov's still ranked at 14, and Frivola's 15. Like, these are a lot of guys we would bet against, and we have bet against. So, and then you still got some guys in the top 10 of lightweight that you're like, I don't. Lightweight's a weird division right now, but if Grant Dawson can keep up his poor man's Aljo backpack game, I mean, yeah, he keep winning fights. I mean, I think
keep going, man.
I just think he's going to run into a wall, man. I mean, look at the guys ahead of him. Is he going to beat Sarukian or Gamrot?
No.
I really would be hard pressed to believe that. So, yeah, I think his time's. I think one of those L's is in the not the rear view, but it's coming up. It's on the horizon.
Someone with a competent, powerful wrestling game is going to neutralize him so bad. It's going to be really ugly one night when he gets matched up with somebody like that who just kind of exposes him, unfortunately. But, I mean, we keep saying that, but he keeps getting good matchups. Yeah, I mean, in theory, right, like that would happen. But, I even think he could get backpacked because that's just...
Probably, yeah.
It's very hard to defend against when you're down and you got I will give him credit, man. He was throwing those hooks in before he was even getting guys to before he even really had the position. Like he was doing it very quick and kind of masterfully. I can't take that away from him, but still, man, boring as shit. Really, just very. I was watching that fight even though I had his Magulov, whatever, that's fine. I'd root for just excitement. Even if my guy loses, I'm like, wow, that guy got the fuck beat out of him. Like that was sick. No, I didn't even get that out of it. So, like a fight we'll talk about later, the Brenner one. We took an L on that one, but at least that was an exciting fight. That was a good fight. So, but I digress. I could sit here and rant about the backpack all day. But Michael Morales, somebody that we on the podcast here have kind of praised a little bit in the past. He got back in there and showed he has a little bit of dog in him. Things weren't exactly going his way. He got his eye busted up a little bit. But he persevered, man. He's very explosive. He's got good takedown defense, and he's got fire in his hands. So I think he's going to go. I mean, as far as I don't. At some point, he'll run into a roadblock. We'll see. Some of the higher you get in 70, some of these specialists step in. But we didn't get the TKO, but it was a unanimous decision victory for Michael Morales.
Yeah, I saw he lost. Was it the first round?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I thought, at least.
Yeah, and then after that, he just settled in. I love his straight right. I love his just athleticism. I didn't know both his parents were Olympians. His mom just won a gold medal on last Wednesday in the Pan Am Games or something. I should probably know what that something is, so I'm going to find it real quick. But I do love his athleticism. I do like his speed. I feel like he's a little low volume sometimes, but he's still 24. Like you said, he took some time off, and he was kind of a bit. What was it? I don't know if he said he was nervous or he was just took him a little bit to get into to get into things. So there's nothing wrong with that. He fought his mom's a judoka, so there you go. I mean, dude, he stuffed those takedowns pretty easily. Honestly, like. Max Griffin got kind of deep on a couple, and he just threw him off and did a real good job of just stepping to the side and ending up on his back, on Max Griffin's back. Good reversal, good transition. Also, I liked how Larasenko, and I don't love Bisping because I think he's a bit goofy like DC, but I do think Larasenko is very brilliant. She did a good job during this fight, talking about the grappling and whatnot, but. Yeah, I mean, he ate a couple shots from Max Griffin. He went through a tough vet, and he almost had him out there in the second, and or the third. He did really well in the third. He wobbled him a couple times. He had a nice couple knees, couple switch knees, a couple Superman punches off the cage. I like how he uses the cage where he's like backing up, and then he uses it to explode forward. I love that. I wish more fighters that were good athletes would do that. We saw like Anthony Pettis used to do that a lot. So. There's a lot of things I like about his game, honestly. I think he's still getting better. I think his striking defense is kind of an issue, but I do like that he shored up his wrestling defense anyway. I think his grappling and wrestling, as long as he has that as like he's good defensively with those, and he can use those just to stop other people's games. He's going to go really far, man. I think he's really good at 170. I'm going to ask you this. Who's your favorite welterweight prospect? Rinat Fakhretdinov, Michael Morales, Ian Gary, or Jack Della?
If you're asking,
Jack Della might be closer.
My favorite, not the best, but who I like the most.
Just who?
I like Michael Morales, man. I really do.
Yeah.
And Ian Gary's got a good game, but I feel like Michael Morales, at least in this fight, showed me that I don't know, a win against Song Keenan didn't really do much more for me. This did more for me. Yeah, exactly. And Ian Gary was doing the chicken dance in the middle of that fight. If you're asking me who the best of those two, it's probably Jack, and then
but he's also more
Fakhretdinov. I mean, we'll get into that, but he's an animal. So I don't really think you can go wrong with any of those selections you just gave me. But I thought I was on the right side here. I like the TKO bet. I'd bet it again, but it just
for sure. He almost had it a couple times.
Max Griffin's just tough, man. Tough. But how about your girl Ariane Lipsky? The Queen of Violence getting a split decision. This was my worst bet of the night, probably. Even the Ismagulov bet was better than this. This TKO or inside the distance had absolutely no chance whatsoever of hitting. And I mean, I think the decision was right here, but I kind of just tuned. I really, truthfully, just tuned it out. It was kind of just. It wasn't really doing much for me. I watched the first round. There wasn't really crazy amount. I don't know. It did nothing for me this fight.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but also the fact that I have to pretty much side with Adelaide Bird on the scoring of this fight makes me want to throw the fuck up. Sal Diamato gave every round to Ariane Lipsky, and I don't know.
No, I don't think that was the case.
And Chris Lee, meanwhile, gave the first round to Gatto and the second round to Lipsky. Other way around, buddy.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Adelaide Bird gave the first two to Gatto, which I kind of saw. I thought the third round, Ariane Lipsky did better. Yeah, I mean, I think Gatto was outstriking her, but was she landing the bigger and harder and better punches? Probably not. Kind of disappointed by Gatto, I guess. But
it was a lot of empty action, if that makes sense. Where you really didn't have any belief that this was going to be, she was going to be able to hurt her. Or get, I don't know. I didn't believe in her in this fight. Right away, I just kind of knew, my bet smoked. I knew I had no chance.
Yeah, she outstruck her, but she went to the body a lot. She went to the legs a lot. I don't think she didn't get any. She was 0-7 on takedown. She did have a couple of minutes of control, but just not really a great fight. Chris Tognoni was the ref. That's enough for me to not watch a fight. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. That's all you can.
Another upset win for Lipsky, the dog, the queen of underdog.
The queen of violent underdogs. So, how about BSD, man? Benoit Saint Denis, who we have on this podcast. been shouting the praises of for many a card. The God of War gets a rear naked choke submission of Ismail Bonfim, who you were so close to taking the sub in this one. I know. That was plus like almost 1,100 or something. I remember the number was insane whenever we read it. It might have been 700. I don't even remember what it was. But BSD was dominating this fight. It felt like Bonfim kind of just ran up against somebody who wasn't going to fold the way, Terrence McKinney physically and literally folded, but I don't think he mentally folded. He just kind of got caught with a fucking insane knee. Benoit, I would not want to fight him. That's why I'm a big fan of Joe Selecki. When Joe Selecki was scheduled to fight him, I said, oh, man, this is bad news. Let's tell my brother, this is bad news, man. Nothing against Joe Selecki, but, Saint Denis is just a different animal. I saw that man take a beating within an inch of his life against Aleski dos Santos, and he just kept coming, man, kept fighting. Got a referee fired because the ref was like, he was still fighting, man. I don't know what you want me to do.
Vyacheslav Kozlov or whatever his name was.
Slavaklav. No, not the same guy. But, it's what a dominant win for Benoit Saint Denis, and gets us a plus 250 moneyline dog winner.
Easy work, man. I just didn't understand. Bonfim was an underdog against McKinney. Now he's a big favorite. He's been subbed multiple times. Dude, how about this fight, the way that started? Benoit Saint Denis coming out with the absolute heat-seeking missile body kicks that he's just firing.
Yeah.
Me and my sister were watching this fight before we went out, and I was like, all right, I got money on this guy. And she's like, oh, he's hot. I was like, yeah. Also, he's special forces. He's probably killed people at knife range.
People with his bare hands, probably.
And also, I'm older than him. And she's like, that's scary. This guy's 27. Like, what? Yeah, this guy's been through hell and back, and he is just a savage. I think he definitely needs to work on his control and his striking defense. But I don't think he's here for. I think he's here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, he's here. He's a $50,000 machine, dude. That's what he's probably going to be. He didn't even make 50 this time, which is probably insane. But
I feel like just because it's not a flying knee, huge knockout, to sub a guy when you're that big of an underdog to win and to win by sub, that's fucking. How is that not a performance bonus? You literally performed amazingly, but.
Well, people were getting finished left and right on this card, though, so I guess they only had so much money to give out.
Oh, bullshit. But they got to bring back the crypto bonuses. Benoit would have loved a crypto bonus.
I need those crypto bonuses back, man. Maybe give them out in something else, because crypto kind of tanked after they started doing that. But
maybe an NFT bonuses, even though I don't think they tanked.
Those tanked even worse, I think. That shit. See people buying Bored Apes and stuff. Or I saw Justin Bieber. I saw this video or a picture the other day where he bought one of them for like $1.5 or $6 million, and it's worth $56,000 today. Because guess what, man? It's fake. It's bullshit. Come on. I wish I had some money, man. Fucking these people, the shit that they're buying, like, whatever. I don't even feel like going. We're not here. We're not a crypto NFT podcast. We are a MMA combat sports podcast, and we must keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Nurselton.
Saint Denis, though. Get Saint Denis a ranked fighter. I'm fucking all in.
Hell yeah. Hey, maybe they run back that Selecki. That would be.
I think that would still be a good matchup. I love Joe, and that would be very tough for him. But I still, he could win that
if he takes him. If he gets in there and takes him down. Joe's got some good wrestling, but those body kicks and the getting through that sort of that wall, that force field that this man has is going to be a problem. Bonfim, people were acting like this was an easy stepping stone for him. Not so much, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't see that. I don't know. I think we were on this the whole time, and we weren't just like, oh, Norman Dubon, friend of the podcast. Oh, Benoit Saint Denis. Like, we're like plus 250, plus two. What?
Yeah.
Like, submission is plus what? And I honestly, was I home? No, I was home for this, but I think I just gotten done work. I got done work early a little bit, so I kind of my day was all fucked up on Saturday, and I'm very upset I did not put in a Benoit Saint Denis sub somewhere in the world, but it's all right. We have we have next week to look forward to.
Hell yeah. We got a big card next week. But how about Nurselton, man? Ruzaboyev, who I don't even care if that's how you say his name. That's how I am going to say his name. Ruzaboyev absolutely flatlines Bruno Ferreira with a right hand, and then it looks like he not knocked himself out, but the impact of hitting the ground rocked his world, and then some ground and pound just ended the Hulk's undefeated streak. And Nurselton, although his record was a little fraudulent getting in here, it didn't really matter because he's 6'5", and he's fighting at 185 pounds, and he looked like an absolute savage on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, he was like 8 inches taller than Bruno Ferreira. Is it Lara or Lauren Senko? Lara, okay. Lara Senko said it best. Completely different body styles for these two men.
Yeah.
And Rozaboev, I think it's Rozaboev? I forget. Rozaboev? Joe Martinez, the GOAT, by the way, pronounced it, and I completely forgot what he said already. But
not the GOAT.
I think you had it when you said it. But yeah, dude, I mean, there wasn't really much, to take from this performance besides him just being an absolute physical monster. Catching a low kick. So he threw a big low kick that landed on Bruno, buckled him hard. And then Bruno landed one himself. And then he threw a second one. He caught that. I mean, he caught it right at his kneecap. At the same time, throws a straight right, fires it, hits him right in the face. And Bruno Ferreira, just cannonballed off of the canvas. And he was out, pretty much. He got hit with four follow-ups, but he was done. He didn't get up for a little bit. I thought he was I was like, damn, that's an early stoppage. Because a lot of times you see a kick get caught, and then a punch. It's mainly just about being off balance. It's not, you fall and you hit the ground hard because you're off balance. Your one leg got caught. But this is not the case this time. He got fucking smoked with just a missile of a straight right. And that was it. That was it for Mr. Bruno Ferreira. So again, what were the odds on this fight? He was minus 225. He was a big favorite after being a big underdog in his debut against RoboCop. So I feel like that happens a lot when guys win as underdogs, especially win spectacular in spectacular fashion, and then their next fight they're kind of overvalued. There's this overcorrection, and I'm like, you know what? Let me take a shot. Maybe he just got lucky, or maybe not lucky, but an underdog winning. And then being a favorite his next fight, like we just talked about in the Bum Fiend fight, that's kind of a market overcorrection. So I'm glad we're kind of catching on to something like that. It could be a trend we could look forward to. But how about it, man? Nurselton, welcome to the UFC. He started crying after the fight. I thought that was awesome.
Shout out to Philadelphia.
Shout out to Philly, baby.
That market overcorrection is the best way that I could say that, because it's just there's been a couple of them that we were able to cash in on this card, and I feel like it's going to continue to be that way going forward. It's just where they overvalue one guy's win to some of these fights just don't translate. One night a guy just has an out of body experience, and then he goes to the next card and he starts to feel himself a little bit, and he fights a guy who is a let's say a French special forces. Then you're like, oh boy, this isn't good. And he gets run over. This one, unfortunately, the man ran into a gentleman of a flag that I have never seen before with a nickname Black Uzbekistan. Nurselton Ruzboyev gets the W. So, and that was the main card, Ty. We keep it moving to the prelims. This was an ugly one. I would like to act like I'm sad about this, but I'm not. I really could care less. Rinat Fakhretdinov absolutely decimates and destroys Kevin Lee in under a minute, 55 seconds to be exact. He catches him with, I believe, a right hand that absolutely puts his ass down, and then he guillotines him unconscious and leaves his lifeless body laying on the side of the octagon after he said that fighting in the Apex was a joke. It is not. It is not, Mr. Motown.
It is not a joke.
It is not a joke when you are fighting a Russian savage by the name of Rinat the Gladiator Fakhretdinov, who he looked unstoppable, and he continues to look unstoppable. Someone's going to stop him at some point, but so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, two decisions after knocking out Spicy. So how about that? His two best wins are in 55 seconds each. Eric Spicely one-punched him, and then kind of one-punched Kevin Lee. I mean, that big right, his left eye was fucked up. He might have fucked his orbital bone off just off that one shot. And then, dude, it was weird. I felt bad for Herb Dean. I didn't really see many people giving him shit because Kevin Lee was latched onto this guy even when he was unconscious.
Yeah.
So he couldn't tell if he was out. I couldn't tell.
No, he was grabbing him, and he wasn't it wasn't loosening up at all. He was just tight as shit.
He didn't go limp. He was just sleeping. So good for Kevin Lee for having a strong grip, even in your sleep, honestly. But dude, when somebody gets a guillotine like that and they just like bring it all the way up as like high up as they can get, like really just cranking on it. That thing will that makes me sick.
Yeah.
To see somebody just like, and then as soon as they let go, boom, lifeless body. Isn't that what John Jones did to Machida? Right? He had the guillotine against the standing guillotine. And then he just had it locked in and then said, I'm going to let go. And he just folded it like an accordion.
Dropped his lifeless body on the ground, man.
Kevin Lee was out for a little bit, too. And Herb Dean had to be like, hey, it's over. You went to sleep. That's got to be tough for Kevin Lee. I think he's pretty much done now, which is crazy to say because he's, 30, 31? That's just, it's I feel you. Like, I don't feel bad, really. Like he was talking a lot of shit. He's like, I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Well, you better learn now after what he just did to you.
Yeah, Kevin Lee has always had like a personality that's kind of just been put offish. Like I've never really been able to become a fan of his, and for whatever reason that may be. But he jumps from camp to camp. He had like I don't know. It's
always injured.
Oh, something about him, man, where he was just talking shit to Tony Ferguson, and he always thought that he was like playing this like character persona thing that wasn't like even funny or anything. At least like Colby Covington, as much of a piece of shit as he may be, his personality or his character is fucking funny sometimes. The little nicknames he comes up like, I don't know. I've never thought Kevin Lee like, wow, like he's hilarious, or that like he couldn't even finish Diego Sanchez. Some of the fights that he was taking are just like, what is going on, man? So I don't know. I've never been a big fan. I didn't really care for him whatsoever, and this was an easy bet at plus 200 for us to get him out of there and to add a couple units to the bank. But how about you? Oh boy! Oh you
I tried taking a sip of water and it was tequila. Oh my god,
that's not good.
Good lord!
Happy 4th.
That'll wake you up. Like I thought I was going to drink after the Rays game. Jesus, man. Just nothing really more to be said about the Kevin Lee fight. I mean, I would assume he's done. I mean, the move up to 170 clearly did not work. I don't know if he can get back to 155. Maybe he should just take some time off and go into BKFC.
He should go somewhere like PFL or Bellator. Like I still think he probably could compete with people. I just think that the UFC that ship has sailed. He gets cooked every time he wears them fucking gloves now.
Yeah. So
Joe Anderson Brito, and the biggest lopsided line of the night. He gets it done in the first round with a TKO. I had the sub. This kind of hurt. He really thought he was going to get it at one point, but just Weston Wilson had really. He was up against it here in this one, and he got put to sleep, man. Ground and pound, put to sleep.
I predicted TKO just because the last fight he won by sub, and before that he won by TKO. So I was like, all right, TKO sub, TKO. It seems like he's like a
little bit of a pattern.
What's our boy's name at heavyweight? Gelton, where he's like, all right, is he going to knock him the fuck out, or is he going to just choke him the fuck out? I guess it's whatever he's feeling that morning when he wakes up. Like, all right, I'm going to smash this dude in this way. I think this was a bit different because it didn't go how I don't think anybody thought. Like, I don't know how deep Weston Wilson. That just sounds like this doesn't sound like a UFC fighter off the name test. He had him he tried getting a knee bar or some kind of something. And the problem when you go for that, you leave your face, you leave your head just exposed. We've seen it before, just completely exposed. And as soon as Brito was able to posture up a little bit, he was raining some bombs on him. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, listen, it's a decent little strategy. Why not? You're plus 5 million underdog. You have nothing really to lose here. You might as well try to sub Brito. I mean, imagine if you would have subbed Brito. That would have been like one of the craziest upsets ever, right? So, at least he went for it. I can give him that. But did he call himself a Walmart version of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? I feel like anytime you call yourself the knockoff version of somebody or something, it doesn't matter who that is. That's just not a good thing to. Not a great
yourself
label.
Up for bad things to happen. And Weston Wilson, so. I will give a word of advice from just a guy who has his combatives belt, white and blue, kind of combined. To all my jiu-jitsu brethren out there, when you are going for a heel hook in MMA, it's not a good idea, man, unless you are literally on the ground. Like, I've seen too many of these guys just get bodied while they're going for these leg locks or any sort of, rolling on a leg, and they're just leaving their face wide open. And in jiu-jitsu, that works because you can't get punched in the face. In MMA, you can get punched in the face, and you fucking will.
Ask Ryan Hall.
And exactly, ask Ryan Hall, because these guys go to sleep, man, because you have no defense. Your head is up against the ground, so you are just getting your face pounded off the ground. And
I imagine if you were to let go right away, you'd still be fucked because the position you're in. You're done. You have no defense at all. So even if you let go of the heel hook, I don't think there's really much. It's not like you're safe. You can just protect yourself. It seems like it's pretty much over from that point.
Carol Hosa, Yana Santos. This was another snooze fest. To be expected. I can't believe Yana let me down. I didn't have her on the card, but I thought she was going to get a bounce back here. And this was boring, though.
Yeah, I saw some people say that they thought Yana was doing better in the first 2 rounds. I don't know. I was trying to pay attention, but I couldn't really. It was just not a great fight. But I thought that
Hosa won.
Was probably the winner.
Yeah,
I think betting her by split decision was a fucking lock.
You did say that.
So good win for her, I guess. Yana, this happened at 145. I feel like might have affected things. I mean, have we ever had a good fight at 145 in the women's division? I mean, I don't think so. Every fight at 145 is
other than the Cyborg Nunes fight, which was a minute long. That's the only fight I can think of on the spot that was elite. But that's it. Elvis Brenner, Guram Kudladze, Elvis Brenner with a comeback TKO, a neck punch, like a neck hook that just shut the right side of his body down. And I saw people saying Kudladze quit. I did not think that at all. I mean,
he's a quitter, I would like to see what other people are.
Yeah, I mean, that was not quitting whatsoever. I think he had the upper hand. He tried to take Elvis out, but I mean, Elvis Brenner is fucking tough, man.
Yeah.
He's got that. This. You look at get hit with an axe on his forehead. He was bleeding all over his white hair.
That was crazy. Yeah, his white hair turned to red hair. I was watching this at work, and the people that it was right as I got done. The people I was working with were like, "Man, what's up with pink hair?" I'm like, "No, his hair is not pink. His hair is it was white, silver white, and now it's not." And he had that big cut on his forehead that opened up. I mean, just seeing a cut open as quickly as it does, it's so crazy to see.
Yeah.
And then he had another nasty cut on his other eyelid. Like that's got to be bad. He had blood all just pouring in his eyes, next to his eyes, over his eyes, into his hair, everywhere, all over. And man, I mean, Guram really just tired himself out. Honestly, he really punched himself out. And I think a lot of people do call Guram a fraud. And I can kind of see why, man. I think he is a good hammer, but not the best nail. I think he did give up minutes of that Demir fight. I think he did give up. I know he won the Gamrot fight, but he could be 0-3 in the UFC, which is crazy because he's fought 3 tough fucking guys. But I mean, striking. He's just very hittable, is what it seems. I know he does really well, and I guess this is just a one-time thing because most of the guys that he does this against, if he were to, they'd probably be done by the first, second round.
For sure.
So the fact that Elvis Brenner was still hanging around, I mean, what a fucking savage, man. What a savage. And that left hook that I thought hit him right on the jaw, but I guess it was, like you said, the neck. And then I think Bisping said right behind the ear or right above the ear. But yeah, I think he did literally get hit right in the jaw, like jaw neck area. And I've never been hit there, so I don't know, but I can't imagine.
I've seen people get hit there, and it shuts their shit down, man. Ronda Rousey, that's when she got a shin to the neck. It was party over for her.
That ended her whole career. Speaking of which, are you interested in a Ronda comeback?
Yeah, I saw that, and it looks like she's leaving
done.
WWE. So
she's done with the WWE again for like the 15th time.
But she's still she was on last night, so they're I guess it's coming to an end. But no, if you're asking me, no, I do not want to see her fight again. I mean, but 35, right. I mean, she might be able to beat some of those girls. As crazy as that sounds, none of them are really savage strikers anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if she fights Erin Blanchfield, she's up against him. But yeah, why not? I mean, listen, you helped usher in the division, and now Amanda Nunes, who kind of put a close to not the division, but put a close to that chapter. Why not come back after the Boogie Woman has retired?
Well, I just wouldn't do that, Rhonda. Let me just say that. Let me go out and tell you. Usually, when people step away for that long after getting bodied, the game has passed you by more than likely. So you may be able to be Juliana Pena. If they give you that fight, then I would say maybe you could do that. But you still might get cooked.
I would love that. I would love if she just hip tossed Juliana Pena through the mat. But
that would be sick.
How about the play of the card? You called me a madman. You called me crazy.
I did.
You told me to jump into a river. You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
But Luana, Dread, Carol. I mean, this Ivana Petrovic chick. Like I said, she's super good looking, and that's it. Like that's the only reason they signed her. It has to be. Like she looks like she needs years of experience. Like she doesn't have striking at all. She doesn't have a really. I mean, what is she, like? What's her go-to? Is she a wrestler?
Down.
She gets taken down. I struggle to figure out what she does. Like, I was like, okay, is she like a judoka? Like, does she, I'm waiting for her to do something. Like Stephanie Egger, at least she has a specialty, right? She's a judoka. She hip tosses people. She throws them. She tries to get subs, and she's not really that good. I don't know with this chick. I mean, this chick's big, so I guess she kind of is like Stephanie Egger. But again, I don't know what her game is. I guess she did win a round, right? She won was it the first? It looks like she got the second round, and then two judges gave her the third round. But, she was pretty much done after the first two. I thought she lost all 3 rounds, honestly. But either way, Luana Carolina looked much better. Just her awkward style and advancing, and she does have a good jab. Everything else that she throws is kind of crazy. Like, she'll loop some hooks, but she was landing them. I mean, she was busting up Ivana a little bit from the nose. I think she was bleeding. Good performance from Luana, man. Big. I'm glad we got a good line on this. I mean, just very low volume. Like, it wasn't a great fight.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to hype that up. But she was mixing up, going to the leg, going to the body, going to the head. And again, this Ivana Petrovic chick, just not good, man.
This is my second worst bet of the night behind Gatto. And honestly, this might be worse.
And both women fights.
Yeah, at least I liked fading the idea of fading Luana Carolina.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, she was just more active and just more of a vet. I mean, 6 fights for Ivana Petrovic before this, and I think 13 for Luana Carolina. Like, again, she's not great at all, but she has 7 UFC fights now. Like, that matters, man. 8 if you count the Contender Series. So, yeah, honestly, really good win for her, being almost a plus 200 underdog. Imagine if you would have parlayed some of these dogs, like Carolina parlayed with Elvis Brenner, or parlayed with Rusaboev or Benoit or Lipsky. Like, you had a pretty good night, man. Or Grant Dawson even, or throw Romanov in there. I didn't hit on any parlays. I think Guram fucked me over in that. Guram and Gatto. I had a pretty nice $20 to win $450 parlay that fell apart. But yeah, good win for Luana.
How about your boy Romanov, who defied the odds that you had set out for him? He did have more than 1 round in him, but not much though, because this was 2 polar bears kind of just standing in front of each other for 15 minutes.
I mean,
this fight was boring as shit, man. It's glad they put this. It's crazy. 2 ranked heavyweights for the first fight of the night. It was boring as shit. Rightfully placed on the card. Romanov gets the win. He needs to lose some weight. Would be okay if I never saw Ivanov fight again. And those are my thoughts.
Yeah, Ivanov, I mean, he was just standing there having a kickboxing match with Romanov for the first couple rounds, and he was not winning. So I was very confused at what his game plan was. It seems like being stabbed many years ago has taken a lot out of him finally. Yeah, I mean, he's just old and small, not athletic, just plods forward, doesn't really have anything, he's not really good at anything. He's just average at every single category. Romanov with the long hair, what do you think? Longish hair.
I don't care.
I didn't know it was him.
Yeah. When he popped out, I was like, this guy should be playing left tackle for the fucking Seattle Seahawks. I don't know what he's doing. He is a guy who has skill, but he's just going to continue once he gets to the upper level of this heavyweight division. Like, truthfully, what do you do next with him? Like, he's number 13 now. Is he going to fight Jairzinho? Is he going to fight Tybura, Derek Lewis, Almeida?
It's really just about what kind of shape he's in. Like, if he comes in at 250,
he did just fight.
Even, I think
he took a loss to Tybura, right? Yeah. So
I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe you give him Braxton Smith when he clears the USADA
suspension.
I'm not sure, or give him Parker Porter. That'd be a real get back fight for both guys. Yeah, I like that fight. Parker Porter
needs Parker Porter. That's if anything.
Honestly, yeah, I like that. I think Parker Porter should get one of these guys and get a win in front of his wife. I think that'd be good for Mr. Porter.
Be a good night. Sean Strickland and Abus get $50,000 for fight of the night. I don't get that, truthfully. I don't think that was fight of the night. But
what fight?
I thought it was Elvis Brenner. But
yeah, how was that not the fight of the night? One of the biggest comebacks. I mean, he was probably, I don't know what he was live, Guram, but he was probably a huge favorite on the live odds. That should have definitely been the fight of the night. I mean, honestly, if you want to give Morales Griffin the fight of the night over Strickland Abus, I mean, if you want to give Sean Strickland $50K, sure, but
I don't think Abus is worthy of $50K. But
no, what the fuck does he get $50K for? Having a decent first round and getting a takedown? Like, whatever. But yeah.
Nurselton gets $50,000. Shout out to Nurselton. And Elvis Brenner gets $50,000 for his performance of the night. So that was it was also good to see Kerry Hatley out there this weekend. So that was UFC.
Love a good Kerry Hatley.
UFC Vegas 76 from the Apex, ladies and gentlemen. So now we got a card coming up this weekend. We will have a full show breakdown later on this week. UFC 290 headlined by the former pound for pound number one, Alexander Volkanovski, against Yair Rodriguez, who is a 100% worthy contender and opponent. And you got the Moreno Pantoja rematch. Whitaker Duplessis, Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner, Robbie Lawler, and Nico Price. That's fun. Let's have some fun.
That's something. I don't know what's going on.
And then a lot of just names on the prelims here. So
minus 1,000. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in Yair. I mean, being +3 something is that's a lot. For somebody like him. Like, he's very good, very skilled, very talented. He can be a tough matchup for anybody. I think the problem here is it's not the hardest thing in the world to take Yair down and to get some top control. And when Volk gets on top, man, he tries smashing you to pieces. And I think the problem with Yair is he tries throwing up some offense from his back. And I just don't think it's going to work, man. Other than that, stay standing. I think he can have a decent chance, but Volk's just kind of a different species, really. But this will be interesting. I think Volk, is he 35 yet? He is not. No, he's not. He's 35 in September. Shout out to us Virgos. He is actually a Leo. I'm sorry. So we can't see if that 35 demarcation line will be tested. But he's also talking about Topuria. He said, as long as he wins this fight, he wants another challenger, and he doesn't want to see Topuria fight Max. He wants to fight Topuria. So I'm all for that, man. If he gets past Yair, he's going to go down as one of the best lightweights ever. One of the best featherweights.
Featherweight, yep.
I always get bantam and featherweight confused. I'm not really sure why, but he's going to be one of the best fighters in general in UFC history ever. And I feel like he's got a late start to all this. Imagine if he was in better shape and fighting, in his early 20s. But yeah, he's just a dog, man. He's just he's one of those people. He's kind of like Gilbert Burns. When I see them work out and train, I'm just blown the fuck away. I'm like, these people are superhumans. Like, there's no quit in them. There's no stop in them at all. So that'd be good, man. I want to take Yair. I want to be like that guy who says, I knew what I just don't think I'll be able to. So I do want to take Pantoja. That's gonna be something because when he fought Moreno, he had a lot of success against Moreno in their first two fights. And I think he has some of the best jiu-jitsu pound for pound in the UFC. I think he has some of the just nastiest chokes. So we'll see, man. Robert Whitaker should smash Dricus. I think you're on board with that. Robbie's retiring. That's going to be sad, but hopefully he doesn't look that bad. +200. Yeah, it might be might be time to fade the retired fighter. But Jack Della's getting in there against Montrezl Harrell. So that should be fun.
That's pretty crazy.
Our girl Yasmin Yorgi is getting back in there against Denise Gomez. It's going to be a tough fight. It should be a pretty good fight. I honestly like that. I don't know which. They're both inconsistent. So
line's very even too. So
pretty much have the same record. So yeah, wow, that should be a really good. Cameron Simon getting there against Terrence Mitchell. I don't know if that's the same Terrence Mitchell from that played basketball.
I don't believe so.
Doubt it. I doubt it. Shannon Ross, are we going to fade him again? I think we should. The problem is Jesus Aguilar.
Oh, no.
I just don't know much about him. Yeah.
Terrence Mitchell. He's the number one bantamweight in Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Well,
this is going to be an all-time fade.
He was born in Anchorage, Alaska. He's the number one fighter in Alaska. He lost on the Ultimate Fighter
in
to
30
Kai
seconds.
30 seconds. He has a loss on the Alaska regional scene. That's enough. That is enough for me to take Cameron Simon by however he wants. I guess TK only has one sub.
Born in Anchorage, fighting out of Anchorage.
I don't like that. That's a double red flag. Esteban Ribovic get back in there to start the card against Cam Wellakirk. It's gonna be a pretty decent scrap. So I like this card. I think the early prelims you can get some beers, get some whatever else you're into partying on. But this main card, even the prelims, man, this is gonna be a really fun card, honestly.
And I can't wait to talk about it, but we will take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your holiday. By the time you guys listen to this, you'll probably be heading to work on Wednesday, but enjoy your week. And we'll be back later on this week to talk about UFC 290. Where is this card? Is this in Vegas? Yeah,
I think it's in Vegas, right? International Fight Week, baby.
Yes, sir.
Boots Ennis will be fighting this week. It's good to see him back, at the very least. One of the most exciting fighters. A Philly legend also. So, let's do the damn thing.
It's an exciting time, baby. Enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Or week. Fuck.
Both. Peace.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.